Alright, welcome back. As you can see, we're going to be talking about ordered pairs again today. And we're going to go over what is an ordered pair, how do we find the ordered pair, and how do we graph an ordered pair. Now, if you might remember, how do we find an ordered pair is what we went over last video. So this video, we're going to go over how do we graph an ordered pair. So just like before, we have the definition of an ordered pair. It's two numbers written in a certain order, x, y. An example is 4, 5. Two numbers inside parentheses with a comma in between. Now, a ordered pair always has the x value or the horizontal value first and the y value or the vertical value second. And as we said, there are different ways of naming the x and y value. Another name for x is dependent variable or input. Remember, the dependent variable is what affects the dependent. And the dependent variable is the y, or the output. It's what is being affected by the independent, or the x value. Alright, so how we graph an ordered pair is pretty simple. It's a 4-step process. Step 1 is we're going to draw a vertical line that intersects the x-axis at the x value from the ordered pair. And then we're going to draw a horizontal line that intersects the y-axis at the matching y value from the ordered pair. Once we do that, we have two lines that intersect, and we're going to put a point right at the intersection. And once we have that point, we're just going to erase the lines, and that's how we graph an ordered pair. And as you can see, I have an image of an example. The only thing that is stopping that from being finished is you just have to erase the green and red line. Alright, so we are going to go over how we do this, and as you can see, I have two examples on the screen now. I have problem 1 and problem 2. Problem 1 has a point labeled A, and it's 4, 1. Problem 2 has a point labeled B, which is 5, 2. Now, point A, we're going to look first at 1, drawing a line at the matching x-axis, and remember it's a vertical line. So I need to figure out what's my x value. Remember, x is always the first number, so we can see here it's 4. Now that I spotted that, I'm going to look for it on the x-axis, and remember the x-axis goes left to right, and I see it's right there. I have a red arrow pointing at it now. Now that I found that, I'm going to go ahead and draw my vertical line through it. Now vertical lines go up and down, and there it is in red. So I got my first step done. Now we're going to move on to our second, which is drawing the horizontal line at the matching y value. So I'm going to look at my ordered pair and find my y value, and it's -1. Remember, y is always the second number. Now I'm going to look for it on my y-axis, and it's the one going up and down. And as you can see, I have it pointing a green arrow at -1. And I found it, so now I'm going to draw my horizontal line going left to right. So we got step 1 and step 2 done. Now on to step 3, which is we're going to plot a point at the intersection of the two lines. And there we go. And finally, we're going to erase the lines that we drew, just leaving the point, and voila. So we are now done with A. Okay, we have a point labeled A at 4, -1. Alright, so now we're going to move on to B. So we're going to repeat those processes again. Part 1, we're going to draw a vertical line. We've got to first look at the x value of the point. And the x value is always the first number, and as you can see, it's 5. So we're going to find it on the x-axis now, and as you can see, I have a red arrow pointing at it. So now that we've found it, we're going to draw a vertical line through it, going up and down, thus completing part 1. Now, part 2, step 2, we're going to draw a horizontal line at the y value. So we're going to look at our ordered pair and see that the y value is 2. Now we know that's 2, we're going to find it on our y-axis, and there you go, I have a green arrow pointing to it now. And now we're going to draw a horizontal line, which is the line that goes left to right. So now we have our vertical line in red, our horizontal line in green, completing step 1 and step 2. We move on to step 3, which is we're going to plot a point where they intersect. So we're going to plot a point, label it B, just like so. And move on to step 4, which is just erase the lines. So we're going to erase the lines, just leaving the point B and the label for point B, and voila. we have them both graphed. A is in the fourth quadrant, B is in the first quadrant. Alright, so now that we've done that together, I have two problems I want you to try out on your own. As you can see, 1 and 2 are right there, coordinate grids are right to the left. You can do this on a piece of paper by drawing your own coordinate grid. And on that coordinate grid, I want you to go ahead and try it. You're going to plot point A and B and tell me what quadrants they are. That's why I have the Q right beside it with the blank. When I tell you to pause, you're going to pause it, work on this assignment, plot your points, come up with your quadrants, and when you have all that, you're going to unpause the video and we're going to go over them together. So go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and pop up the answers now. As you can see, point A, -4, -2, is in the top left-hand corner in quadrant 2. And as you can see, the point right there, I left the horizontal and vertical lines just to show you how I did it. And I also have the steps to the left, step 1 through 6. Steps 1 through 4 are plotting the point. Step 5 is about leaving the quadrants, and step 6 is finding out which quadrant goes with the point. Alright, next is point B, I apologize. It's in quadrant 4. It's at 1, -4. As you can see, it's clearly labeled in the bottom right-hand corner. And I, again, left the vertical and horizontal lines there just so it's easy to spot what I did to graph it. Alright, so that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great, great day.